Welcome back to the channel. We're back with some more Commander content today. Part 2 of our ranking all the commanders that were released in 2025. Today we're on to Mono Blue. Similar to the first one, we're giving our opinions on which commanders we think were the best of the year to the worst of the year. Not necessarily that any commanders are bad, because there's a commander for everyone out there. But we do rank them from our A tier, which is just tends to be our top 5 for mono white, it was at least, but it tends to be our best of the best. B tier tends to be ones that I've definitely seen across the table and enjoy seeing across the table. C are ones that I could definitely see as being useful, giving you some form of card advantage. D are ones where they tend to just buff up like one or two other creatures, and that's about all that they do. And then F are just ones where it's just like, okay, it might not just be that great in the command zone, but if you want to run it, you can. I also see tier tend to be like where we put the cards where it's just like, okay, I may not put that in my command zone, but that definitely is a great card to put in 99. But that's just a general overview of things. Let's get into it card by card. Starting us off, we have UA the Moon Spirit for our A tier commander. Flying, Vigilance, Waterbending 5. She's a 3/3, but she allows you to cast any non-creature spell from your hand without paying its mana cost. She's basically an omniscience on the board. You're allowed to tap your artifacts, your creatures, basically giving anything convoke with her ability. You could tap her, untap her. You could even get omniscience on the board because that's a non-creature spell. Then you use that to cast all of your creature spells from your hand. Just the amount of card advantage that UA tends to give you while she's in the command zone is just unlike any other commander that I've really played with from the Avatar set so far. I haven't played all of them, of course, but UA, A tier here for me. Following up, for our basis for our B tier, we have Katara, Waterbending Master. For 1 and a blue, you get a 1/3 whenever you cast a spell during an opponent's turn. You get an experience counter. Whenever Katara attacks, you may draw a card for each experience counter you have. If you do, discard a card. Katara could be pretty situational. Definitely amazing in the 99 of control decks while you're trying to play during your opponent's turn, getting you that extra hand advantage. Just in terms of getting the experience counters, you basically have to wait one time around the table before you're really getting the most out of her ability, or really anything out of her ability, because if you get her to attack the turn she comes down, she doesn't get to draw any cards, but if you get her to attack later on, amazing card, getting you to draw a bunch of cards. That's why she ends up here in the B tier. In the C tier, we have Alfnaud Lavouille, partner with LSA, but we're ranking these in a vacuum. We'll eventually do a video with all the color pairings. But she has Vigilance. Whenever you cast a second spell each turn, draw a card. Just the amount card advantage that you get off of this card, especially being in mono blue. So whenever you cast a second spell each turn, not necessarily just during your turn, so you definitely get a lot of hand advantage there as well. Yeah, so that just makes her pretty useful in terms of that ability. Just not the best for the command zone. More so one I'd put in a Jeskai deck so that we could really get the most out of the spell slinging abilities. So, C tier there. For our basis for D tier, we have Doc Ock, Sinister Scientist. As long as there are 8 or more cards in your graveyard, Doc Ock has base power toughness 8/8. Cool. He's a big creature. That's about all that you're getting out of that one so far from the first line. But then on the second line, as long as you control another villain, Doc Ock has hexproof. So he's an 8/8 with hexproof for 5 mana. Is essentially what you're getting if you run other villains. If not, if you're running self-mill, you're getting an 8/8. It's a 3-shot in the command zone. I could see an argument for F tier for that as well. But just 8/8 is strong enough for it to go in D tier for me so far. Probably could move that around later on. And F tier with Beetle, Legacy Criminal. Flying, 3/3 for 4 mana. Pay 2, exile this card from your graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, gains flying. Okay, you're getting a little bit of a boost one time every so often to your other creatures. You're better off just trying to mill this, have it in your graveyard for your Doc Ock ability. Not, yeah, and then give Doc Ock flying so that he can swing with that 8/8. But just in the command zone, you just have a 3/3 of flying essentially. I mean, you could still banish it and it goes back to the command zone after that. Just not warranting above F tier for me. and we'll be going in alphabetical order for the rest of them. Starting us off, we have our first Aether Drift commander in Mono Blue. I think our only Mono Blue Aether Drift commander. Kylorna, Coral Tyrant. A 0/8 for 2 mana. Really good stat line. You're getting a pretty useful like wall in terms of that. Are you running that in a command zone though? No, you're running that more in your wall decks. So like I could see it being like useful for like other decks. Just on its own in the command zone, you're not really getting anything out of it. So there it goes for F tier for us. Chameleon, Master Disguise. For 3 and a blue, you have Chameleon enters a copy of a creature you control, except his name is Chameleon Master Disguise. You could also get his Mayhem ability for 2 and a blue, allowing you to cast it from a graveyard if you discard it. Not too often we're discarding something that's in our command zone, so Mayhem ability we'll basically ignore. But you could have him enter as any creature you control. It's a little bit nerfed because it's only creatures you control, not any creatures on the battlefield. He does break the legendary rule because he keeps his own name, which is pretty useful here. I'd say it doesn't really give you card advantage, but it could give you like your other commanders, so we'll put it into C tier there. Following up, we have Edgar, King of Figaro. Whenever Edgar enters, draw a card for each artifact. Oh, that could be a lot of draw power. And then the first time, the first time you flip a coin, each turn those coins come up heads and you win those flips. 6 mana for this. Well, I mean, like, think if you're playing like Dotcast. Dotcast gets you draw power, not based on the amount of like artifacts you control, but it costs less if you control your artifacts. And that's like 6 mana, so like that's worth it. You're getting a really good amount of card advantage here. Are you getting enough for A tier? I think it's a little bit too pricey to go in A tier. So B tier he goes. Go, Master Mimicry. 2 and a blue, 2/4, XX. Copy target activated or triggered ability you control X times. You may choose new targets or copies. Ability can't be copied, and X can't be 0. Alright. I really enjoy Go in the 99. Like, there are so many decks that, like, he works really well in. You could copy UA's ability, you could copy Qatar's ability, you could copy Edgar's ability. All those are amazing things that you could do. Are you building a cohesive deck with him in the command zone? I think you can. I think there's enough activated abilities, triggered abilities to do it, especially in Mono Blue. You get an Agathis Soul Cauldron in there as well, getting those +1/+1 counters on your creatures. I think I'm putting him in A tier, at least temporarily. I could see B tier, but we'll see. Gran. Whenever Gran becomes tapped, draw a card, discard a card. Whenever he casts, non-creature spells cost 1 less to cast, as long as there are 3 more lessons in your graveyard. Okay. So we tend to ignore the lesson spell for this deck. Okay, now hear me out. Thinking B tier. Because you have the ability to tap, untap, go infinite with Gran, deck yourself out, get a Dazzle's Oracle win. We also posted this with deck profile on our channel as well. And it was a lot of fun to play. Is she warranted for B tier? Because she's so limited in terms of like how fast she could do it. Like, does she deserve C tier? I'm gonna put her in B tier. I think she's good enough. She's like, you get her out like with any tap ability you have to get her tapped like right away, and keep on going. Works really well with like the waterbending abilities in the Avatar set as well. So B tier for Gran. Following up with Hermes, Overseer of Elpis. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 blue bird token with flying and vigilance. Whenever you attack with 1 or more birds, scry 2. Okay, so you're getting a little bit of deck knowledge. It's whenever you cast a non-creature spell, so that's pretty useful. 4 mana. I've definitely seen this one in like Spellslinger decks. In terms of like on its own in the command zone, I think it might be a little bit difficult because you're trying to mix Spellslinger with birds. Like, you don't necessarily even have to run Spellslinger for this. You could just So you don't necessarily have to run birds. You just run spell slinger for this, and get a whole bunch of birds, and you keep attacking. It's only up to scry 2, so you don't scry 2 for each opponent you attack. I could see C tier for him. Yeah, I think that works for him. Roswell Guard of the First Brood. 5 mana, 4 and a blue for 5/5, flying vigilance, ward 2, whenever he enters and whenever he casts a non-creature spell. Okay, so we're on to non-creature spell thing again. Target creature gets +1/+0 and can't be blocked. Okay, so he's buffing up another creature. He's also a pretty strong creature himself. I mean, he's 5/5 for a 5, whereas Beetle is still a little bit down there in the stat line. I think the ability to power up your other creatures is nice. It doesn't give you enough card advantage to go in C tier, so I'm thinking D tier. And I think with that said, I think Doc Ock just being a 8/8 goes down to F tier for me. And then for our next creature, we have Hydroman Fluid Felon. For 2 blue, you get 2/2, where whenever you cast a blue spell, Hydroman is a creature, he gets +1/+1 till end of turn. Okay, so you get a strong creature. So far, could be F tier. At the beginning of your end step, untap Hydroman until next turn, he becomes a land. So he could be really hard to get rid of, it seems. I think this is like one of the Spider-Man commanders I just didn't find a way to build a deck around. We could put him in C tier because he gives like a little bit of card advantage, but we have so many other like good creatures in C tier. Like he's low C, high D, I'd say, because he gives you a little bit of advantage, but he's also just a strong creature otherwise. And he only gives protection to himself. I don't know, I'm thinking D tier. I could see C tier though. Jill, Shiva's dominant. For 2 and a blue, you get 2/2, where whenever Jill enters, turn up to one other target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Okay, so that's us or our opponents. And then for drawing 2 blue, exile her, return to the battlefield, transformed as Shiva, Warden of Ice. Target creature becomes blocked this turn. Sorry, can't be blocked this turn. Okay, so you're buffing up your other creatures. Tap all lands your opponent's control, exile her, and return her to the battlefield. So it's during your turn now. Otherwise it's just a removal piece on a stick, which like is nice. Is it as much nice as your C tier commanders? She's only 3 mana. I could see she's like another one, low C, high D. I think for her though, I think C tier just because of like the plethora of abilities to get off of her, and like you get ways to buff up creatures, ways to disrupt your opponent. Both those things are fun to do. Katara, Bending Prodigy. At the beginning of your end step, if Katara is tapped, put a +1/+1 counter on her. Okay, so you're buffing up every so often. Waterbound 6 to draw a card, helping you get her tapped. You're drawing a card every so often, not often at all. And you're getting a buff on her every so often, not often at all. It's at the beginning of your end step, so it's not at the beginning of each end step, which that would be broken, because then she comes to the 6/7. Got it? Anyone know what a 6/7 meme? Anyway, I think D tier for her. I don't think F tier because you still get a little bit of draw power. Just 6 mana to draw a card. Not the best exchange. I mean, you could also tap your creatures, but still, not the best exchange. Lady Octopus, Inspired Inventor. Whenever you draw your first or second card each turn, put an Ingenuity counter on her. Tap, you may cast an artifact spell from your hand with mana value less than or equal to the number of Ingenuity counters on Lady Octopus without paying its mana cost. So, initially, I would put this in B tier because I didn't know you could get those at any time. I thought initially the tap ability was during your turn only, but no. That is, you get to cast it for free during your opponent's turns as well. So all of a sudden you could be like, oh, I'm just sitting here with my 0/2 with 12 Ingenuity counters on it. Blightsteel Colossus on your opponent's turn while they're trying to attack you. It is pretty easy to get her, like, Ingenuity countered up. It's also really easy to tap on tap with artifact decks, especially if you can make her into an artifact. I think she's up there in A tier with Yue getting free spells on the board. Yue might move down to B tier. Lulu, Stern Guardian. Whenever an opponent attacks you, choose target creature an opponent controls. So you choose target creature attacking you, put a stun counter on it. You also pay 4 to proliferate. It doesn't stop things with what's called vigilance is the thing. Are you running? If you could run propaganda in the command zone, would you run propaganda in the command zone? And like, if propaganda only stopped one creature, I don't think too often. I think the proliferation keeps her out of F tier and into D tier. Next up we have Lila, Holographic Assistant. Every draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Again, run blue. Not hard to get draw power. Pretty easy for us to just move those counters onto like all of our creatures. I think D tier though, because like it's 4 mana. It's not gonna be the easiest to do. Madam Web, Clairvoyant. And you may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast spider spells and non-creature spells on top of your library. Whenever you attack, mill a card. Okay. So this allows us to spell sling pretty easily. Gives us the card advantage, allowing us to cast on top of our deck. It's nowhere near a Bolus of Citadel. I mean, or a what's that blue one? That's the jellyfish. Why can't I get the name? Oh, it's an artifact that you could equip onto something too. Anyway, but you could move the thing off the top of your deck. The card advantage is pretty useful. I don't definitely not B tier because she is 6 mana, but I think she's warranted for C tier. Following up, we have Master Paku, Prowess. Whenever Master Paku becomes tapped, target player mills X cards, where X is the number of lesson cards in your graveyard. So we can mill ourselves out. We can mill our opponents out. We just have to have a lesson in the graveyard is the only problem. Are there enough lessons in blue for you to do that? There's a few. I don't know if there's enough to put them above D tier though. Like that could easily go infinite, similar to like how Grand does, where like you keep tap on tap. But if you don't have a lesson spell in the graveyard, it's not doing anything. So D tier is. Matoya, Archon Elder. Whenever you scry your surveil, draw a card. We like scrying, we like surveilling. We could build a whole deck around that, especially in blue. I think that's a lot of draw power we're getting off that. Is it? Thinking. I think enough draw power where it could go in B tier for me. Yeah, I think it's warranted. Following up, we have Memnon, the right hand. For Drain 2 blue, you get a 3/4 with flying. Look top card of your library at any time. You may cast artifact spells from top of your library, and artifacts you control have tap, add blue mana. You can only use it to cast spells from like the top of your deck or your command zone, but still, if you're just casting all of your artifacts from the top of your deck, really good ability. I think UA might end up moving out of A tier, because this is, I don't know, like this one was definitely more hype before it came out, but like, and it is 5 mana, so it is a little hard to get on, but still, you could in theory cast your entire deck, because artifacts, as long as they're not creatures, don't have summoning sickness. So I'm thinking A tier. I really like my Memnon. Following that up with Mu Yanling, Wind Rider. This creature enters, get a 3/2 colorless vehicle creature token with crew 1. The creature vehicles you control have flying, so that's a big buff to our vehicles. Oh, wait, H Drift does have a second mono blue commander. Whenever one or more creatures you control with flying deal common damage to you, draw a card. Sorry, to a player, draw a card. One or more creatures deal common damage to a player. So you can in theory draw Dre because it's to each player. So drawing Dre is really good. You could give all your vehicles flying, and there you go. There's all of your creatures to attack everyone. I think that's C tier though. I don't know. Like it could be B tier. Yeah, we'll put it in B tier because you can get 3 cards every round. It's B tier. Mysterio, Master of Illusion. Whenever Mysterio enters, get a 3/3 illusion villain creature token for each non-token villain you control. Exile those tokens when Mysterio leaves the battlefield. Okay. So, if it didn't have the exile those tokens when Mysterio leaves the battlefield, Definite B tier. Since they do leave the battlefield, when he leaves the battlefield, you can't like stack too easily. It is like pretty limited in terms of what you can do, which is like weird because like villain isn't a big type. I do still think C tier because you're getting enough tokens where you could technically overwhelm your opponent. Followed up with Owaka, Traveling Merchant. Move a counter from a non-land permanent you control to draw a card for 1 in a blue. Or you get the 1/2. A little bit of draw power. Requires him to be tapped to do it. In theory, we could use the same grand argument in saying that we could technically go infinite, but we would need counters. And I don't know if there's anything that says whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1. Oh, wait. This plus something that could keep untapping him, plus a source of mana. No, this is C tier. I was trying to think if this plus a Skullcrawler, the one that whenever you draw a card, put like a counter, and then it becomes a bunch of 1/1s eventually. Following up though, we have Princess Yue. When Princess Yue dies, a shift of non-land creature returns this card to the battlefield, tapped under your control as a land named Moon. She gains tap, add colorless. Okay. Flavor-wise, A tier. That's just very funny. In terms of like how good she is in the command zone, she enters the return this card to the battlefield tapped under your control. She's the land named the Moon. Like, is she as good as Hydro Man? Because Hydro Man becomes a creature again. She's essentially a land ever so often. I think she's still D tier because you get a little bit of advantage, and she's more than just a strong creature. Quistis Trape. For 2 in a blue, you get 2/2. Whenever this creature enters, you may cast target instant sorcery from a graveyard, and manifying type can be spent to cast it. From a graveyard. The spell we put into a graveyard, exile instead. So you get a little bit of recursion. I don't think you're getting enough recursion for B tier. I mean, like, you're in B tier. Like, she's in blue, so you could keep on blinking her with a bunch of blink spells. But I think since you still have to spend mana to cast a spell, C tier. If you didn't, B tier. Riku, Resourceful Guardian. Whenever you put 1 or more +1/+1 counters on a creature, until end of turn, that creature can't be blocked. Okay, so at least D tier. 1 and tap, move a counter from target creature to an opponent controls the target creature you control. Okay, so essentially she's just making things unblockable because that's a little bit too reliant on what our opponent's doing for steal ability. Where do we put our other like unblockable commander? Because I think we had one. No? Oh yeah. I think she's similar to Velzergar. She's a little bit, and she's even like relying on getting those counters in the first place. I think D tier. Spider Bite, Web Warden. Whenever Spider Bite enters, return up to 1 target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. So a little bit worse version of Jill. They're also the same mana cost. Huh. Non-land permanent. But she can't transform, so D tier she goes. Alright, we're down to our final 18. Spider-Man 2099, Miguel O'Hara. Enters, return up to 1 target creature to its owner's hand. So a little bit worse than Spider Bite, and a little bit worse than Jill. Whenever 1 more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. So she's similar to Mugen Ling, except it doesn't need to have flying. But he doesn't create anything that has flying, but he creates an opening for something to deal damage. He has 5 mana. He would need haste to attack the turn he comes down. He doesn't really give anything else unblockable. So I think that's still C tier. Or like evasion to make sure things can get in. Tagam, Master Opportunist. Whenever for 1 in a blue, you get 2/2. Whenever you cast a second spell each turn, copy it, then exile a spell you cast with 4 time counters on it. If it doesn't have suspend, it gains suspend. And with its owner's upkeep, move a time counter when the last is removed. Okay. So we're going to copy our second spell each turn. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn. Huh. That's a lot of value we're getting. Is it enough value to go in B tier? Exile the spell you cast with 4-time counters on it. Oh, wait. I noticed I could copy it. No, wait, copy it. Yeah. So we're getting another copy. Play it without. Okay, so you're not casting it a second time from exile. I think getting a copy of a spell warrants B tier. Say his chameleon sound C tier, but he doesn't copy a spell. He just copies creatures you control. Teo, Spirited Guardian. Whenever one or more creatures you control would flying attack, draw a card, then discard a card. Whenever you discard a card this way, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Alright, so he's buffing up your creature slightly. He's getting you a little bit of draw power. So whenever one or more creatures you control with flying attack, not based upon each player they're attacking. So I think similar to Spider-Man, 2099, C tier. The Blue Spirit. For during the blue, you may cast the first creature spell you cast each turn as though it had flash. Okay, so you can't use that with him the turn he comes out, so you have to wait a turn at least. Whenever a non-token creature you control enters during combat, draw a card. Okay. Give spells flash is nice. Is it nice enough for B tier? I don't think so, because you have to wait a whole time around. So, yeah, it has to be during combat you cast your spell, so it's limited draw power. C tier he goes. The Destined Thief. Can't be blocked, that's nice. For a mana blue and tap, another target creature you control can't be blocked this turn. So we make our other creatures unblockable, that's nice. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to one or more players, draw a card, then discard a card. If you have full party, instead draw 3 cards. How easy is it to get full party in mono blue? You have changelings. Is that easy enough? Or are you just drawing one, discarding one every turn? Is it similar to anyone? I think it's similar to like Katara. Like you're getting a little bit of draw power every so often, and it's pretty expensive. I think that's D tier. They very much put the reins on his like ability. The Lunar Whale. He may look at the top card of your library at any time. Cool, that's it. Flying Crew 1. As long as the Lunar Whale attacked this turn, you may play that top card of your library. Play the top card. Okay. Okay, so you keep going, casting stuff from the top of your library. So you're getting Madam Web type ability, but it's only during your turn, and only if you attacked with this 3/5 with flying, which is easy enough to do. So I think that's still C tier, because it gives you enough advantage. But it's, yeah, no, like, we like a walk-in C tier. That definitely warrants C tier. The Mechanist, Aerial Artisan. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, would create a clue token. So it's a little bit of draw power that you have to pay extra for. Until the next turn, target artifact becomes a 3/1. Okay, so it's very limited draw power, but it is draw power. So anytime, yeah, that's similar to Lunar Whale. You're getting enough draw power, but like you just have to pay a little bit extra. Might move like some of these around to B tier. We're still one short from our top 5 for A tier. I just realized we might put like Katara, a Water Burning Master up there. The Prime Visa. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, at least 4 mana spent to cast it. It becomes an artifact creature till end of turn. Crew 2. So it's essentially a 5/3 for 5 with flying. F tier. It's just a strong creature. That's about all you're getting. Not really getting anything else. It's a tap source. That's not anything. The Terror of Serpent's Pass. Hexproof 8/8 for 7. That sounds familiar. Huh. Where have I seen this before? F tier. That's where I've seen it. Unagi Kuyoshi Island. Whenever an opponent draws their second spell each turn, you draw 2 cards. Really good card in the Miss Bumbleflower deck. I'm just gonna say it. Like this card, Miss Bumbleflower, it's nuts. Waterbend 4, flash, so you get during your opponent's turn while they draw their second card. It's only when they draw their second card specifically, but still, that's really good. I think that warrants B tier. So, like, because that's one where I'm really happy to see it in my 99. In the command zone, however, I don't think I'm running it. Between Moon and Ocean, come tap, draw a card. Comes untap, get a 1/1 counter on them. Okay, so remember how Grandkern was tapped, draw a card, and discard a card? Imagine she had a little bit more to her. That's why it's in B tier. I could even move this one to A tier because it's another infinite. Because, like, it's easy to tap things in mono blue. Ty Lee, Chi Blocker. Prowess. Enters, tap up to one target creature, doesn't untap during its controller's untap step for as long as you control Ty Lee. Okay. So you flash, stun a creature in the command zone with Prowess. Is that enough for D tier? I think that's F tier. Like, honestly, like, Mono Blue's had a lot of strong commanders this go around. Ultimecia, Temporal Dread. Enters, tap all creatures your opponent controls, and then whenever creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Okay, so it's similar to Mu Yanling. You're temporarily removing all of your opponent's creatures. It's whenever a creature you control. Oh, so this is one or more. This is whenever a creature. B tier. It is 6 mana, so like that's why I do like hesitate, but still could be useful. Ultros, Obnoxious Octopus. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, if at least 4 mana spent to cast it, tap target creature and opponent controls, put a stun counter on it. Okay, so you're removing one of your opponent's things temporarily. But at least it's a little bit better than Ty Lee, because you could repeat it. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, if at least 8 mana spent to cast and put 8 +1/+1 counters on this creature. Okay, but how often are you doing that? Yeah, there's no really big X spell that I could think of off the top of my head for blue that you'd want to spend like 8 mana for. So you're mostly just getting a repeatable like stun engine. You also tap in this creature. I think it's D tier still though. Vinwixid, Verbose Host. Start your engines, no maximum hand size. If you draw a card, draw 2 cards instead. Okay, hear me out. Start your engines with this one is pretty difficult to get. It's very fun. It's really easy to like want to say this one is like B tier, but like it's pretty difficult to get up to like the 4 speed. Basically waiting till turn 6 to get this out in that case. Unless like say you Lotus Petal, get this out. Turn 1. Turn 2, you can't attack with it. Turn 2, you get out Boots. And then turn 3, you get out a flying creature that you swinging with. Then 3 more turns, so you get your max speed. I think D tier. Like, it turn 6, get some extra draw power, is essentially what it says. And there's no way to, like, do it any faster, essentially. Yeah. I think it's only as long as you control this card, too. I mean, like, you get them back, and your speed doesn't go away. It's, like, the nice part. Because, like, your speed stays because that's on you, not on your creature. But still, not good enough. Wan Shi Tong, All-Knowing. Enters non-land permanent target non-land permanent's owner. Puts on top of their library, second from the top. Really good source removal with this one. Whenever one or more cards are put into the library from anywhere, create 2 1/1 colorless spirit creature tokens. This token can't be blocked by non-spirit creature tokens. Okay. Really good token creator. You're getting a lot of tokens. You just blink this creature, and you get a bunch of tokens. You shuffle your hand back into your deck. Put it into a library. So if you have everyone shuffle their hand back into their library and draw cards, that's 6 tokens. This is a lot of tokens, and I really enjoy tokens. I do think this could even more in A tier, but I think we see Yashola Rule down here, and she might be the last A tier, potentially. Wan Shi Tong Librarian. Flash, Flying Vigilance. Wan Shi Tong enters, put X+1/+1 counters on him. Draw half X cards rounded down. And if opponent searches the library, put a +1/+1 counter on him, and draw a card. Okay, I know I said Y'shtola. It was a potential A tier commander, but I think it's Wan Shi-Tong. I mean, all that draw power, enough of a strong creature, and keep on getting draw power with flash while he's in the command zone, and you get to control how much you pay into X. I think that warrants A tier. I could see arguments for B tier and Y'shtola for A tier. Y'shtola is definitely B tier because at the beginning of your end step, exile target creature you control, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. And then if it's the first end step, there's an additional end step, and you get to do it again. So, like, you're getting 2 blinks off of her. Wan Shi-Tong, you're getting a lot of draw power. Y'shtola really powers up, like, what's it called? Decks. Blink decks. And all those, like, ETB abilities that you're getting. Is it better than, like, getting to draw all the cards in your entire deck, potentially? You're not really gonna get to, but, I think maybe Y'shtola over UA. No, I think UA warrants. Yeah, I think potentially Y'shtola over UA, actually. I think UA might be a little bit difficult to get. And also this way we get something from... Oh, no, we already had something from Final Fantasy. Do we have anything from... what's it called that we can move up? Tarkier? No, not really. I don't think either of these two are warranted moving above A tier. But yeah, that's the deck there. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you like the video. If you want to see more like this, tune in and subscribe so you can stay tuned for those videos. We'll be posting one of these a week. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.